Hello, hola, mi amigos. Welcome back to Good Storms Games. We're doing some more Oxygen Not Included on the Volcania map. And we're doing as much poop power as we can do. There's been a lot of progress off screen. Well, not a lot of progress. We've set up... I accidentally paused the video. I've been having so much trouble with recording because I accidentally left my microphone on off. Like a dum bum. So, we're going to go through some things. We got a new colonist. I'm going to fill you in as much as possible. We got a new colonist somewhere. I think it's ONI here. Is our newest colonist. If we go to skills here, ONI is a cook, a researcher, and a farmer. So, woohoo! Fun stuff. As our newest colonist, we have set up some ranches. We are going to set up these hatches with dirt in order to turn them into sage hatches. So we're going to turn these guys into sage hatches, and those sage hatches will eat all this fertilizer eventually, so that we can power the whole thing on poop power, essentially. A lot of ranching will go into it. Essentially, these fertilizer synthesizers will feed the sage hatches, which produce coal, which will be burned in the coal generators to produce power, and the carbon dioxide that comes from that will be turned into polluted water, which will be then used in wherever we need to use it, and we produce a bunch of polluted dirt in order to make dirt, and basically, and just keep the cycle going. We're also going to have a bunch of ranches for Drecos eventually, because we will need a bunch of them. We've been on the search for some Drecos. As you can see here, we have expanded to look other places here. We also have our natural gas geyser here, which is fun and fantastic, doing its thing. But yeah, we're on the search for some Drecos, because in order for this system to work, we need a lot of phosphorite. And there's not enough phosphorite around the map for us to be able to power this whole thing on the phosphorite you can mine. So we're looking for some Drecos. Hopefully there's some Drecos on this map. If I'm very unlucky, there is no Drecos on this map, and then we are going to have to get very creative and send a lot of spaceships places before we could even get the poo power thing running. So, hooray. But yeah, the fertilizer synthesizer is great. So we're building some hatches, hatch ranches, and going on for a bit. I'm going to make this recording. It's probably going to be a bit shorter than the last one because I have been playing for several hours and mistakenly not recording things, so I'm not going to spend another several hours recording and doing that all over again, sadly. It's a bit silly, but hopefully you guys enjoy. I was very excited to see that my last video got quite a few views. I'm happy that people were clicking on it. Poop Powered, I guess, is a good title. Who knows? And people were curious about it, so. Essentially, I'm going to be running everything off of fertilizer synthesizers and polluted water as much as possible. So I want to produce as much polluted water as possible. So I got some research done that was very important. I got the carbon skimmer. And the carbon skimmer is good because it turns carbon dioxide into polluted water. So the interesting thing about the carbon skinner though is that it doesn't really increase. There's no increase in density. It just takes carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and turns it into polluted water. So carbon dioxide skimmer. Where is the skimmer? There we go. So yeah, 1,000 grams of water in, and you get 1,000 grams of polluted water out. We can put that through a sieve, or we can feed it back into the fertilizer synthesizers to produce more natural gas and produce everything else. So, as last episode, we did do the calculations. We need 16 fertilizer synthesizers for one sage hatch ranch, to feed one sage hatch ranch. Not necessarily for anything else. It's just that's how many synthesizers you need for 8 sage hatches to feed them. So we're gonna look the fertilizer so we can see it. By the way, if you're ever trying to figure out how much something produces per cycle of some sort of substance and you want to compare it to the thing that will eat it or use it up, if you look up the element or whatever you're the metal or the dirt or water, whatever it is, if you look that up, whatever it's producing or consuming, you'll often get the per cycle production or consumption of those buildings listed in the various applications and transitions and things like that. So, as you can see here, here's the sage hatch. It's going to eat 140 kilograms per cycle of fertilizer, which means you're going to need 2 fertilizer synthesizers to feed one of these per cycle. So it's going to produce 72 kilograms per cycle of fertilizer. So we need twice as many of these as we need sage hatches. The nice thing is we are going to get a few kilograms per cycle extra per cycle from the fertilizer synthesizers that we can use in some sort of farm to produce more materials, more seeds, things like that, more complete, which is kind of nice. So that's kind of where we're sitting. It doesn't say, it doesn't have how much fertilizer is consumed by the farming station, which is this station, the farm station here. Let's look up the farm station then. Farm station. It's interesting that ONI has a few things missing from each thing here and there. Slightly annoying. That's why things are some things are in grams, which is kind of annoying, and not like grams per second or like whatever per second instead of per cycle, which is much easier if everything's the same denomination. So that's why if you look up the material itself that's being produced by the thing, you can usually compare it apples to apples because it's going to list everything in per cycles usually. Nice little trick that I found out. So how much? So 5 kilograms per use. So it doesn't really have a per cycle. That makes sense. Excuse me. I've been talking for a while, so I'm kind of losing my voice. So 5 kilograms per cycle, or per use, which is kind of nice. Which means we can have that used like once or twice per cycle, based off of what's left over from the production for feeding the sage hatches, which is kind of nice. So, and also the nice thing is that these things can be auto-sweeped, so there doesn't have to be any duplicate input. So this whole system will run off of no duplicate labor eventually. When it first gets started up, it's going to be using duplicate labor to supply all of these. So it is what it is, but we'll figure it out eventually. So I got that research. Let's research all of that. And then we want to research the natural gas geysers. I might put the natural gas geysers down here somewhere, just to make my life a wee bit easier. Oh, there is no slime lung in there? Well then let's put a deodorizer right here. Put some power to it and call it a day. Cause yeah, being able to get reed fiber for free is great. So zero surface disturbs. I think we lucked out with this seed here. Let's have them hurry up and make that, so we don't have to worry about the polluted oxygen coming in. But that's really nice. That's awesome. That means we can harvest all this thimble reed for free, which is just that's a boon and a half right there. I didn't know that was that. Free thimble reed fiber. That's great. Wild stuff. So good. Yeah. Doesn't need any irrigation, which is amazing. Our bathroom's set up. It's in an infinite loop, and it occasionally drops out the excess out at the top there, which is great. We are currently consuming more water than we are producing, but c'est la vie. And just got some polluted water there. Eventually we'll build up too much polluted water, but for now, everything's good. I really do love the algae terrariums. They just require a lot of duplicate interaction, which is troublesome. So, yeah, we'll set that up for now. Eventually, we'll probably move some of these things. If I remember correctly, I need 3 fertilizer synthesizers. Let's look up methane. Or, sorry, natural gas. Natural gas. Natural gas. It will be... oh, it's not going to tell me it's produced by... no. See, some things are kind of omitted from here. Anyways. This consumes 90 grams per second, and our fertilizer produces 10 grams per second. So 2 of these. So we're going to need 2 natural gas generators to consume all of the gas from all of the fertilizer synthesizers once we set them up. So we're going to have 18 of these. 2 natural gas generators. We're going to have some coal generators, because why not? We're going to be producing so much coal. 1,000 coal per second. We can look up coal. We're going to look up coal. Coal generator. No, we want just coal. Coal solid, thank you. All the things that use up coal. So, double that. So we're going to have 140 kilograms per cycle of coal. And that's 600 grams per cycle. And we're times it by 8. So we're going to have 8, not 800. We're going to have over 1,000 kilograms per cycle of coal being produced at some point. Which is going to be quite a lot, which means, 2 coal generators can power everything. I want the extra coal generators just so that we have the extra power when we need it to kind of charge everything. It doesn't take very long to charge things, and we can kind of burst the power production here and there. So I think I'm going to put the coal generators on a lower priority than the natural gas generators, because the natural gas generators, I want them to burn as much natural gas as possible so that we can get more water. Because that's nice, because if we have this natural gas geyser going, we're going to actually have an input that we can use up and produce a bunch of power, and also ooh, that's 298, and it's 90 grams per second. We're gonna need like 5 natural gas generators. A lot more than I was expecting, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll probably have to clear all this out in order to build what I want to build, but we'll get there eventually. We're gonna have to scrub down a lot of this slime. That's alright. We'll build a facility for processing all of the slime. It'll give us a lot of polluted water and a bunch of algae, which I should probably make sure I have the algae. Make sure I keep an eye on that. I only have 6.2 tons. That doesn't seem like a lot at the moment. I might be using that up a lot faster than I was going to expect. Eek. Eek, eek. I might have to switch over to the electrolyzer sooner than I really wanted to. We have all the meal wood, so that my duplicates aren't starving. And we'll have some skills put up, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so we're going to be building this. So we'll just plan this out for now. We need 2 spaces before the next one for the auto sweepers. That is a lot of goodiness right there. So that's going to be our fertilizer synthesizer block, essentially. Then we have the carbon dioxide. This is all going to be all the same thing. So these are going to generate carbon dioxide. Once it gets to a certain pressure, we'll have the let's go to the oxygen. We'll have the carbon skimmers kick in. once it reaches a certain pressure. Yeah, if we put that right there, it fits perfectly. Perfect. How much carbon dioxide? 300 grams per second. How much carbon dioxide does one of these generators produce? Carbon dioxide, 20 grams. So one carbon skimmer can deal with all of those. Okay, perfect. That's all I needed to know. So one of those, and then we'll throw a. Actually, we want to look at the. So 20, 40, 60, 80. And we want the natural gas generator. And we need quite a few of these. So what's the carbon dioxide on this? 20 as well? I think for what one will be good enough. The natural gas generators will be down here. Now the question is, do I want to tune these up so I can produce extra power with using ceramics? I kind of like the idea of doing that because you can get extra power out by making microchips, essentially. Since we already have the station. Yeah, it uses, what does it use? Refined metals. Oh, okay. That's a later me problem. We won't even worry about that for now. If we need to add it in, we'll just add it in over here somewhere. Well, we might add it in here. But we can just swap some things around. It'll be fine. So, we're going to get some water in here and such as well. We might just skip this process of making these manually used, but we'll need to get some refinement in. We need to get rid of, like, all of that. We'll get rid of that too. And put some ladders in. Eventually, I'll move all of this over, and it'll work better. Oh, I should probably replace those. Deconstruct those and build the ladder beside it while we're at it. Oh, who got stuck? Soggy feet. Okay. Chilly surroundings. You're working on building the ladder. Starvation? Look at all the food we have. We have 27,000 kilocalories. Like, go eat. These duplicates shouldn't be starving at all. It's probably because of long commutes. Yes, long commutes, yeah. Daily report. Calories generated, removed, net, stress change, germs, errands. Travel time, 45%. Work time, 41%. Personal time, 14%. That's not bad. It could be better, but it's not bad. Should, I really want to put a ladder there, but I guess we'll just deconstruct it, then put a ladder in. Yikes. It's mostly climbing the ladders that's taking them forever, but whatever. We'll need to put a slide in or something like that. We're working on the research. We're researching up a storm over here. That's the other thing we did. We put in some more supercomputers. It's great. Yeah, we are researching up a start. Wow, we've got a lot of progress going. Just brute force the research, I guess. We have 2 scientists now, so they can just research up a storm. We got like 1 supply guy running back and forth. We're getting all this progress done too. That's nice. I'm not sure if I should leave that like that or not. I am going to pour more water in there eventually, probably. Body temperature. Oh, okay. Well, those are body temperature problems. We'll get there eventually. Not a big deal. I don't know, I'm excited. I really like this. Look at how big that block is going to be. Let's see. We do not have the insulation tiles yet, so we are going to use insulated tiles around all of this because it is going to be outputting so much heat. It'll also be like reducing a lot of heat eventually, but we'll see. The oxygen production is probably just going to fit down here somewhere eventually. It's kind of nice that this is nearly in line. I'll eventually submit a bioscan to that. We'll figure it out. Are you guys done researching yet? Almost? We got one more thing to research? Okay. A couple cycles and they'll be done. Yeah. The puffs, I like puffs. I like being able to produce slime and algae. Just because of simplicity of it. But, you know, there's better options to them producing slime. Because you use it in the algae distiller, you get a third of it as algae, you know, a bunch of it as polluted water, and then you can make it into other things. But the polluted oxygen, if I remember correctly, let's just look at polluted oxygen puffs here. So if we put the polluted oxygen through a deodorizer, it's 54 kilograms per cycle. And this is 3 kilograms per cycle of slime out of 30 kilograms per cycle of oxygen. Oh, no, it's nearly 50. It's almost 1 to 1. So that's 60 to 54, which... 60 to 54 is actually not bad. Filtration medium, and then we end up with clay. And then I guess you can make clay into all sorts of things. Yeah, the sublimation station, you're losing half the kilograms almost. Ooh, what do we got? Blueprint. Oxalate? Ooh, oxygen. We don't need any of those guys, so let's just get some oxalate. 100 kilograms of oxalate. That's a deal. We need more oxygen in our lives. We got the deodorizer running over there. Everything's good. Ooh, duplicate skills. Bioni! Yeah, you're gonna get cooking, because we need you to cook up a storm here. Produce us more food. More calories. Yeah, I think we're almost done here for today. Not a lot has happened on screen because, well, I am a silly canary and just didn't turn on the switch, so it's all good. I muted myself for an entire recording. It was so good and so much fun. You just have to believe me that it was better than this video. And that you should come back again to watch my other videos once I make them, because that's the thing I'm doing occasionally. I'm gonna try and like every 2 weeks at least get a video out. That's the hope. That's the hope. That's the plan. I am enjoying doing these ONI videos. I wasn't really feeling about making another video till I saw that how many views my last video got, so I'm excited for that. So we're gonna continue on with the poo power plan. Say that 3 times fast. The poo power plan. Yeah, we're going with the poo power plan. We're gonna get there eventually. All those cycles. We're gonna get a bunch of duplicates for this poo power plan, right? Because they make a fair amount. So if we look at one of these lavatories, because the lavatories are how we're gonna be making this the power for the poo. 5 kilograms in, and we're getting 11.7 kilograms of polluted water per use. Okay, so 11.7 kilograms per use. So we're that's that's double the amount of polluted water than it uses. So, depending on how many duplicants we have, this could be an extremely potent way of producing power. Because really, you're going to just have an overflow. Like, we're going to have to build an overflow into this eventually. We're going to have to rearrange some things eventually, but we're going to have a polluted water overflow that's going to run over to these, essentially. And produce all of the water that we're going to need. Although, it might be better to actually keep these separate from each other. Heck with it. We're gonna make the sage hatches full of food poisoning, so then when we use the food, everyone's just gonna have so much food poisoning. It'll be fine. Does food poisoning increase how much it increases how many calories they eat, doesn't it? Yeah, whatever. Eventually they'll be eating just meat because we're gonna have so many sage hatches just lying about, so. It is what it is, and it's great. Yeah, so we're going to have an overflow for the lavatories. We're probably going to get a bunch of duplicates because each duplicate is an extra 5 kilograms per cycle of polluted water, which is great. Extra 6, actually. An extra 6 kilograms of polluted water per cycle. And now, how much does this use of polluted water? Let's go look up polluted water. Polluted water. The synthesizer should be on the polluted water list. So it uses 23 kilograms per cycle. So if we have 18 synthesizers, right? 18 synthesizers, that would be, let's 360. We're rounding down by a large margin. Yeah, so 260. 360 kilograms. 360 kilograms per cycle, which would be divided by 6 duplicates? No, 60 duplicates. We would need 60 duplicates to power this thing. That's a lot of duplicates. That's a lot of food. We're gonna need other food sources, but that could be our power source. Yeah. That's, 60 duplicates. What are we gonna, I guess we could feed them all sorts of, like, meat from the sage hatches. Like, that's definitely an option, right? We just might have to come up with a creative way to kill hatches. I mean, evolve hatches. 100 degrees C. So if I throw them into a boiler room, they will become meat. That's pretty handy. And then we can cook up the meat. That would be an automatic way of dealing with them. But I'd have to have a batch system, which, I mean, we will have power to spare eventually. Mostly from the coal generators. Because we're going to be running 2 coal generators and 2 natural gas generators full out. So, that should be pretty good. Look at that. Look at just a happy little colony, right? So I need 60 duplicates to power this only on poo. Only poo power. That's exciting. That's the goal. So we need 60 duplicates to supply this with enough polluted water per cycle to completely power it on poo. And then our whole colony can be powered on the poo of 60 duplicates. I'm going to have to... At this rate, I have 30 cycles for 6 duplicates. So times that by 10. About cycle 300 I might get there. So I hope you guys are in for the long ride because this is going to get real weird real fast. Oh, and I'm going to need a lot of polluted dirt. Let me see here. We're going to look up dirt. Yeah, dirt. Here we go. Algae to dirt. Interesting. Fertilizer to dirt. Okay. Oh. Interesting. Fertilizer to dirt. So I could take the excess fertilizer and turn it to dirt with temperature. That's interesting. So that means the fertilizer coming out of here has to be below 125 degrees C, otherwise it turns directly into dirt. There's no loss, though. That's a gain of dirt from the fertilizer, right? Interesting. Okay. That's good to know. Slime to dirt also does that, too. Interesting. Steve dirt. Yeah, so 1,000 grams. How many so 72 grams per cycle. So essentially we're gaining this. We're using this much dirt and gaining this much dirt. we're gaining almost, yeah, we're gaining the same amount of dirt. So we're using 39 kilograms of dirt. If you turn the fertilizer to dirt, you're gaining 39 kilograms of dirt. Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that that's a process that you can do. Because the phosphorite is going to be your input, right? You're going to be growing the input with the phosphorite. Because if you feed the Drecos the bomb lily, you should be good to go. There is no Drecos. Why are there no Drecos? That's the most frustrating thing right now, is that I can't find any Drecos. I need the Drecos to live in my pocket very badly. Very bad. I need Drecos so badly because I don't have enough phosphorate to sustain this whole thing. My guess is I'm gonna have to convert all of these into Dreco farms, and there's going to be a lot of Dreco farm. So we might be doing Atmos suits for the duplicants to ranch the Drecos to make phosphorite, and we're gonna need a lot of phosphorite. A lot of phosphorite. 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 There we go. Let's look at the phosphorite. How much phosphorite are we gonna need? 15 per kilogram, or 15 per cycle. About 200 kilograms per cycle of phosphorite to run these flat out, because we're gonna need to run these flat out to produce enough fertilizer for the sage hatches. So, who produces it? 10 kilograms per cycle. So, 10 kilograms per cycle for a Dreco. I'm going to need so much bomb lily. The bomb lily I can feed to Paku. The seeds, at least. I can feed the Paku, which will turn into more polluted dirt and food. More than I will ever need, probably. But 10 kilograms per cycle. So 10 kilograms per cycle. I need 2 Drecos per synthesizer, which means I'm going to need 18 times 2 would be 36. So I need 36 Drecos, which means I need divide that by 8-ish. 36. 5 ranches of Drecos, about. If I remember correctly, it might be actually more. I forget. Dreco, how much room do you need? 12 cells? How much do hatches need? 12. Hatches also need 12 cells. Okay, so 8. 8 critters per ranch. So, 8 critters per ranch, and if I need 30, or if I need 5, I need 5 ranches. I already did the math in my head about 5 ranches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 3 of them up here, I think. I'm going to have 3 Dreco ranches above these guys, and then I will have a shine bug ranch for no reason, I suppose. Okay, so this is gonna be ranch block, ranch block, poo power facility. But ranch block, poo power facility, living quarters will be like wherever else, and just everywhere else, essentially. I will probably, because of this here, I'll probably build all the living quarters right here somewhere. And then have all the docks come out in here, and they can run over here, get on tubes and things. And they can go to do all of the work that they're gonna need to do. Like, oh my lord, this is gonna be a huge project. I'm loving it. I'm excited. Hopefully it doesn't implode on me. I'm going to have to do some sort of temperature management eventually. So I will probably have to have. So it's about 5. So I'm gonna have 4 regular Draco ranches feeding on Bomb Lily because that's free, and one ranch that's being fed on mealworm, essentially. One Draco ranch being fed on mealworm so that we have glossy Dracos. So that we can get plastic. That would be kind of useful. But first I need to get Dracos. That's number 1. I haven't seen a single Draco yet. I'm looking for Draco. Can I look up Draco and then find Dracos? Dracos. Just a Draco. Is there a search function for Dracos? I want to see if there's a Draco on my map. Ooh, is this a chlorine vent? Oh, we have a chlorine gas vent. Ooh, 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 ooh. That is handy. That is very handy. Very, very handy. You guys are going to be having so much fun. Yeah. See, I might put my natural gas somewhere else because there's a fun little trick I like. If you go into... Let's go into the research for a second. There is these toilets that pass the waste through the wall. It's usually meant to be used with spaceships, so it just ejects it into space and gets rid of it. But we can use it with various pumps in order to process it and take up less space, as well as having a natural gas generator attached to it. So let's look. Where is it? It's probably up in the plumbing section somewhere. There it is right there. Oh, I can actually research the wall toilets already. I'm going to research those because I am curious. We have a bottle filler, liquid cargo tank. Automatically stores piped liquids into bottles for manual transport. There's a bottle drainer. Oh, this has been added recently. I haven't seen. Drains bottled liquids into liquid pipes. Okay. That is super handy. I'm going to research that because I've always had trouble with these algae terrariums not... Like, dealing with the polluted water is so difficult with the algae terrariums. And I do like the algae terrariums because they use up water and you can automatically water them, which is really cool. But they have to be emptied manually. I wonder if that thing will be able to empty the polluted water into pipes for us automatically. Or even if it's kind of manually, if you just put a whole bunch of them in the same room as the algae terrariums, the duplicants can just empty and then put the bottle in place and run away. Like, just fill all of them up and all the polluted water goes. Because that could be also another way of making polluted waters with the algae terrariums. Because we're going to need a lot of polluted water, right? And it's a fun way of making oxygen, so. I forget how efficient it is with the algae. So it's 30 grams per second of algae, 300 grams per second of water, 40 grams per second of oxygen. This is 550 grams per second of algae and 500 grams per second of oxygen. Really? Really? Because you can get 44 grams per second. Yeah, it's more efficient that way, but it produces a bunch of polluted water, right? Yeah, it produces only slightly less. It actually produces more polluted water, which is interesting. It produces water, oxygen. It produces quite a bit of oxygen. It's interesting how much more oxygen it produces per second. Interesting. It's quite efficient on algae. So, if you're wanting to run your colony on algae, you're going to want to use algae terrariums. And but you're going to have so much polluted water, but I mean, you can basically just send the polluted water to the puffs if you really want to. I'm not sure if... Do sweepy docks allow polluted oxygen or polluted water to off gas? Asking for a friend. Things we should test at some point. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Did I say goodbye a while ago? Like adios amigos. I love you guys. Thank you for coming by. Did I get distracted and continue playing? No, that never would have happened, right? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Some oxygen not included, and you come by again. Adios amigos, and wish me luck on the poo power. Adios amigos.